Welcome back to the Science of Sailing program at Piers Park Sailing Center. This video is for Level 1 students practicing sailing skills. Today we'll be learning tacking and proper sail trim. The first thing you'll have to know is which side of the boat the skipper, or the person steering, should sit on. Usually it's the opposite side of the mainsail. And the reason for this is to balance the weight from the mainsail and also be able to see without any obstructions. Next are two simple but important commands: head up and bear off. We'll start with head up. Heading up is when the skipper pushes the tiller towards the mainsail so that the boat heads toward where the wind is coming from. If someone tells you to head up, they mean to push the tiller away from yourself if you're sitting on the correct side of the boat. The next command is bear off. Bearing off means to push the tiller away from the mainsail so that the boat gets farther away from the direction of the wind. And if you, the skipper, are sitting correctly on the opposite side of the mainsail, you should pull the tiller towards yourself. An easy way to remember this is by saying, bear to what you wear, because you're pulling the tiller towards your clothes. But saying this only works if you're sitting on the appropriate side of the boat. Now we're going to talk about sail trim. Sail trim just means how much you pull in or let out your sails according to the wind. Generally, if a sail is luffing, then you'll want to pull in on the sheets until the sail can make a tight pocket free of wrinkles. You'll also want to pull in your jib and mainsail when you head up, because as you get closer to the wind, you want the sails to be closer too so they can catch the wind. When you bear off, you should let out your jib and main sheets. This is because you're moving away from the direction of the wind, so you want the sails looser to keep catching the wind. But sometimes the wind is coming from directly in front of you, and pulling your sails or letting them out doesn't make a difference or stop them from luffing. This means that you're in irons and probably not moving. To get moving again, you can either put yourself on a starboard or port tack, and I'll tell you what this means and how to do it. Remember that port is the left and starboard is the right side of a boat. When the wind is coming over the port side of the boat, this means you're on a port tack, and the sail will be on the starboard side of the boat. So if you're in irons and want the wind to be on the port side to end up on a port tack, you should push the tiller and cleat the jib both onto the port side. Great, now we're on a port tack. Now let's say you're in irons and want to end up on a starboard tack, with the wind coming over the starboard side. You can push the tiller and cleat the jib onto the starboard side, which is just the opposite of a port tack. The next thing we're going to learn is tacking. Tacking is when the bow of your boat passes through the wind coming from the front. Tacking is useful if you want to turn your boat without stopping in irons and just pass through it instead. To perform a tack, there are certain steps you have to take. First, and maybe most importantly, you need to look around and make sure there's no other boats in your way. Then you need to alert your crew and wait for their response.
Ready to tack? I said, ready to tack!
Ready.
Make sure they're actually paying attention before you do anything. Then you announce that you're tacking and head up with the tiller until the sails just switch sides on the boat, and then you can center the tiller. Switch the side you're sitting on so that you're still opposite the mainsail.
Ready to tack?
Ready.
Tacking!
While this is happening, your crew should uncleat the jib and pull it in on the other side.
Tack.
Ready.
Tacking. Turn around and smile.
You can also turn by bearing off when the wind is coming from behind you, but that's a more risky maneuver called jibing, which you'll learn in level 2. Great! Now you understand proper sail trim and how to tack. We'll see you in the next video.
PPSC, we're a family. PPSC, that's where I wanna be.
This is more work than teaching kids.